How has the automotive industry evolved over the past century? Which role has Valeo played in this innovative journey? And what does the future of mobility hold? We're answering all of your questions now on the occasion of Valeo's 100th anniversary. Don't go anywhere. Hello everyone, I'm Amy Burrows and I'm so pleased to be with you today for the launch of the 100-year anniversary of Valeo, one of the world's largest automotive suppliers. To kick off the centennial celebrations, I'm here with Christophe Perriat, the CEO of Valeo. Hello Christophe.
Hello Amy, and hello to everyone watching. Nice to be here with you all.
During our time together, we'll look back at this incredible odyssey and we'll look at Valeo's unique positioning today at the centre of the revolutions in mobility. And of course, we'll hear about Valeo's ambitions for the future too. For all of you watching us live, don't hesitate to ask us questions in the comments or tell us, what do you think mobility will look like in the future? Let's start by looking at Valeo's journey over the last 100 years. What do you think, Christophe?
Well, it sounds like a great place to start, Amy.
Perfect. Well, it all began in February 1923 in a small workshop near Paris. 100 years later, Valeo has contributed to writing some of the most beautiful pages of automotive history. It's become an international group with more than 100,000 employees, nearly 200 plants, and more than 60 R&D centres around the world. Now, Christophe, Valeo works with nearly all car manufacturers in the world, as well as with new mobility players. And today, there aren't many new cars that aren't equipped without at least one of your technologies, whether that be for the electrification of vehicles, driving assistance, reinvention of the onboard experience, or better visibility. Valeo's story is dizzying. So this has got to be a very special moment for you.
Well, yes, it's an emotional moment for me and I think for each of the 103,000 employees of the group. It's a source of pride for all of us to bring our own contribution to this wonderful story. And it's indeed a great industrial adventure we are celebrating today. It's 100 years of history, of passion, of commitment this year. It's 100 years of innovation with the constant ambition of making your journeys even simpler, safer, and more sustainable. It's 100 years of opening up the road of technological possibilities, a history that has made us a world leader in each of our core businesses and which positions us today as a key player in the transformation of mobility. For 100 years, we have been putting our industrial excellence at the service of our manufacturer customers when it comes to new cars and our distributor customers when it comes to aftermarket, working to make high technology affordable to as many people as possible and to meet the highest standards required for the automotive. I would like to thank the thousands of men and women who have given their energy and their talent at the service of Valeo and who have helped build this rich history over the last century. I would also like to thank all our clients for their confidence and the fact that they have made us a key innovation partner for so long.
Oh, thank you, Christophe. We've actually already had a question. So the first question is, now that we've talked about the past 100 years in Valeo's history, can you tell us, what does the future hold for the company?
Well, it's an exciting future for sure. The automotive has begun its biggest transformation in its entire history. The car is becoming electric, autonomous, and connected, and it will change more over the next 10 years than it has changed since its birth. Valeo is at the center of this transformation. All the technologies we design and we produce make this transformation possible. And we will continue to do this while at the same time we continue to transform our company and our business to reduce our carbon footprint and do our part to contribute to carbon neutrality. So it's a wonderful challenge that motivates us all on a daily basis.
Well, that was very insightful. Thank you, Christophe. Now, as you know, I asked all of our guests today to bring along something that they felt symbolised Valeo and its history. So you're up first. What did you decide to bring?
At first, it was difficult to choose, but I decided to bring a stop-start. And you know stop-start because it's the system that turns off the engine automatically when your car is at a standstill. I brought this because it made Valeo one of the pioneers of vehicle electrification in 2004. That's when the company really started focusing on developing and producing technologies that reduce CO2 emissions. So today, when we deliver electrified powertrains to our customers, let's remember it all started with this fantastic component. It's an innovation that has spread all over the world, and this technology is a great example of our ability to make innovation a global standard. And when we have made so many more of these innovations a global standard since. The start-stop was also one of our first technologies to integrate electronics into the mechanics. And this is where Valeo became a key electronics and mechatronics player in the automotive industry.
I had no idea that Valeo was behind the start-stop, and it's funny because it's actually something that you don't necessarily think about in a car, but it's such an important function. Thank you so much, Christophe.
Thank you, Amy.
Now, let's take a closer look at the history and key milestones of Valeo over the last century of innovation in this short film.
If you've ever been in a car, it's a safe bet that there was a Valeo product inside it. We have always been an integral part of your daily life. But where did it all begin? The story of Valeo starts in 1923 in a small workshop in Saint-Ouen, a suburb of Paris, with a man named Eugène Buisson. Little did he know that when he founded the Société Anonyme Française de Ferraudot, he was beginning an adventure that would fill some of the finest chapters in automotive history. Right from the start, with the production of the very first friction materials in France, the company's products aimed to make driving easier. In less than 10 years, they were already equipping most cars produced in France. Not long after the war, the company brought drivers a new breakthrough. That breakthrough was called Fairlick, a new semi-automatic transmission system that replaces the clutch pedal with a control on the gear shift. And that immediately popularized the electromagnetic clutch on small cars, such as the iconic Renault 4CV. As the usage of individual cars expanded, the former little Parisian workshop started to conquer the world, setting up in Spain and Italy in the 60s, and then in the capital of the American automotive industry, Detroit, in 1970. And later expanding to Asia, with Japan in the 80s and China in the 90s. In the meantime, the company's workshops developed innovations in fields ranging from thermal systems to lighting. In the 70s, they developed a new type of starter, the D6RA, a total game changer. It was lighter, more powerful. Once again, it's a huge success and would become standard on a wide range of cars, like maybe your mother's or your grandmother's. Eventually, the group grew to include up to 70 companies, such as Ferraudot, Cibier, Marchal, Ducellier. The time had come to unify them under a common name, Valeo, the name of the Italian subsidiary, which means "I am well" in Latin. In the 90s, Valeo led a new revolution. Parking enters a new phase as our engineers invent the first ultrasonic sensors for parking assistance. You know the beep, beep when you back up your car? That was Valeo. In 2004, the company became a forerunner in the launch of stop-start technology, making it a pioneer in car electrification, a field in which Valeo is today one of the global leaders. In 2011, we deployed Park for You, the world's first automatic parking assistance system. And today, we're already inventing the car and the mobility of tomorrow, just as we've always done. In 2022, the world's first 2 cars certified for Level 3 autonomy hit the market. Of course, they were equipped with Valeo's LiDAR technology, the most advanced sensor essential for the development of the autonomous car. We've been driving innovation in the automotive industry for 100 years, making cars cleaner, safer, smarter for all drivers in the world. And there are very, very few new cars today that are not equipped with at least one Valeo technology. And this is just the beginning.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're joining us just now, we're celebrating Valeo's 100th anniversary, and we are really loving all the comments, so please do keep them coming in. As we've just seen, Valeo's technology has revolutionised and invigorated the automobile industry through the ages. To shed more light on the importance of the company's contributions to the automotive industry, let's welcome Vincent Pichon-Varin, who has just worked on a book on the history of Valeo for the group's 100th anniversary. Hello, Vincent.
Hi, Amy, and hello to our viewers. Thanks for having me today.
Well, it's so lovely to have you here, and as someone who has spent countless hours immersed in the history of Valeo, I wonder if you could just tell me what characterises that industrial adventure and what makes it so unique?
As you have all just seen in the film, Valeo was not built in a day. It's the result of an original initiative which many companies have joined through acquisitions and cooperations over the years. One thing is clear, innovation is the DNA of Valeo since its origin. From the very beginning of the automobile industry, the companies that made up Valeo were at the forefront of innovation. The group's brands that were to ultimately become Valeo, such as Ferrodo, Chausson, Cibier, Marshall, Dussolier, they were all pioneers in their fields, from clutches to lighting to heating systems. And their innovations were adopted by the whole world's automobile production.
Such an incredible history. How about a few examples?
I'm thinking, for example, of friction leaning for the first brake system, rectangular headlights, LED lighting for the first stop-start, the first ultrasonic sensors, the world's first mass-produced LiDAR, an essential sensor for the autonomous cars. It's incredible that one company has given us all of this. It's clear that Valeo has always led the way and has always been ahead of its time technologically.
And all of these amazing chapters of Valeo's history are covered in this fascinating book that I really do invite you all to read. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, Vincent, and I'm sure lots of our viewers will be adding your book to their reading list. Thank you.
Happy to have been able to take part in this memorable event.
Thank you. And now, friends, don't go anywhere, because up next, we have 2 guests that you won't want to miss. Welcome back, everyone. Now, for those of you who have just joined us, we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of Valeo. Don't hesitate to react and comment if you have questions for us. We'd love to hear from you. We've just travelled back in time through Valeo's prestigious and fascinating past. Now, let's jump to the present and have a look at what the future holds. And for this, we're welcoming Agnes Park, Valeo's HR Director, and Geoffrey Boucault, Group CTO. Agnes, Geoffrey, lovely to have you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, in light of all the nostalgia, having journeyed through the highlights of Valeo's history, how does it feel to be the heirs of that history today?
Well, maybe I can start. I think it makes us very proud. I think thinking about all those passionate engineers that just came and dedicated their work life to design those great innovations. And when you think about the portfolio of innovations, probably, I mean, Valeo is the biggest in terms of patent filing as a French company all over the world, all sectors included. So yes, that gives us energy and pride. And at the same time, that also gives us kind of a humble mindset, because everyone, I mean, when we wake up in the morning, out of the 25,000 engineers at Valeo today, I mean, we wake up and say, okay, how can I push a little bit further, you know, all those innovations a little bit further towards smarter, greener and safer mobility.
And how do you feel, Agnes?
Well, to add to Geoffrey's point, It's also this innovative DNA and this ability to invent the mobility of tomorrow that fills our employees with pride and also attract new talents who wants to join us. We can't wait to write the next chapter and to do just as well or even better than those before us and to carry on their legacy. And we know that we can count on the skills, passion, and commitment of our teams, which have few equals.
Thank you both so much. We've actually had our first question. This one's for you, Jeffrey. So, someone asks, what are the main technologies that the group is working on today?
Well, how much time do you give it to me? Because
A couple of minutes.
Okay. So I'll try to sum it up. First, I think, Christoph stated that already. The automotive industry is undergoing the biggest transformation of its history. So now, when you think of that, the road towards electrified cars, connected cars, automated cars is just at the beginning. So it gives us a lot of roadmaps to design and reinvent. But we have one mindset actually at Valeo R&D, if I may. The first is to design products and systems that are robust by design.
Right.
And then, of course, affordable by design, because this is us. This is us to push technology for everyone, to make this impact, in terms of mobility. And probably as well, sustainable by design, because really this is part of our DNA. And if I were to sum up somehow the 4 areas of innovations that we focus on, the first one would be electrification. The second would be about safety systems, advanced driving safety systems. The third one would be the reinvention of the interior experience. And then after that, it will be last but not least the lighting everywhere.
Do you have any examples of those 4 areas of innovation, those services, if you like?
Well, obviously, when you think about electrification, first I would focus on the design of the best performant electric motor that we can develop, or when it comes to electronics, onboard chargers, those are pieces and products that are, at the utmost importance when you design,
of course. Of it,
obviously,
it? Yeah.
obviously. Of course, when you think about the electrification, it's also about how do you create heat and cold without, let's say, the minimum of energy that you use from the battery. So it's what we call a thermal smart heat pump. So those are, let's say, smart technologies that we develop for thermal. Then, if I were to think about advanced driving systems, this idea is really to bridge from the perception of the car, 360 view, real time, up to, let's say, design with AI technologies, the best recognition and strategies for the car to move and to stop and to actively protect the car itself, but also the road users.
That's so clever.
And then maybe last but not least would be around lighting. So maybe if you close your eyes for a few seconds and you think about, let's say, your favorite brand. I won't name, let's say, all of them are great. But if you think about that, most of the time you would think about lighting, because lighting, as per se, is a new communication language. And this is really where Valeo brings a lot of technology to provide these new safety systems as well as styling and branding devices.
It just sounds like such a fascinating and really promising future for mobility. I want all of these things on my car.
We're working on it.
Thank you very much. I'd love to know, what did you both decide to bring with you today to symbolise the last century of Valeo? I know it's tricky to do that in one object. Agnes, let's start with you.
So actually, I chose this photo.
Ah.
Actually, one of the first we have of the pioneers of this amazing adventure. This was in the 1920s. In the first factory in the group's history in the Paris region. Actually, I would like to pay a heartfelt tribute to them. Because if only they knew what happened to the small business they helped create. When you go back in time, you actually realize that spirit of innovation and industrial excellence has always been part of Valeo's history.
That's such a lovely choice. It kind of transcends the ages. It really captures the spirit of Valeo, doesn't it? And Jeffrey, what did you decide to bring?
Well, I brought our 3rd generation of LiDAR. So what is LiDAR? This is this very piece of technology, very complex one, that actually makes autonomous mobility a reality. And all the cars that are today hitting the road with what we call level 3 autonomous possibility means that, let's say, that the car can drive itself by itself. And this is thanks to those complex technology pieces where, you know, they can recreate real-time 25 frames per second up to 200 or 300 meters, depends, let's say, really what happens around the car and what is, let's say, what could be the hazards, or I don't know, the cars, the driving signs, or the pedestrians.
Yeah.
Everything can be recreated and understood thanks to this really great piece of technology.
It's such impressive technology. I love that you did the future, Jeffrey, and Agnes, you did the past, which is great. Well, Agnes, I would imagine that in order to produce and develop these kind of technologies, you would actually need cutting-edge skills. So what are your team doing to make that happen, to make that a reality?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So we have already over 100,000 talented women and men around the world. Just to give you an example, they receive more than 2 billion components in our factories every single day.
Wow.
And they produce 8 million technologies. Can you imagine? Our teams imagine and conceive and design the technologies of tomorrow in our 60 or so R&D centers.
Absolutely.
But we always need more people. Today, Valeo needs talent in exciting fields such as artificial intelligence, software, electronics, mechatronics, big data, and cybersecurity. And this year, we will continue to recruit on every continent in many different kinds of jobs.
Well, you're certainly capturing our viewers' interest, because we've had another question, another one for you actually, Agnes. So this viewer asks, what makes Valeo a great place to work?
Well, I would say to him and all of you, if you're looking for a great purpose, a company with a mission that has an important impact on everyone, definitely Valeo is the place for you. We are making a difference in mobility by tackling 2 big challenges. First, climate change. We are on a mission to decarbonize mobility. It is so important. Second, improving road safety. You know, 1.3 million people die in car accidents every year. Our ADAS and lighting technologies increase safety on the roads for everyone. Our technology are all solutions for making a big and positive impact on these important issues. And you could be a part of that. Mobility is changing like never before. Opportunities to be part of such a transformation are very rare.
Absolutely.
That's true.
We are a tech company with an innovation mindset, but we also have the stability and resources of a well-established company. You will be invited, bring your big ideas, take risks, and have access to resources to do so. So, if you want to put your talents at the service of cleaner mobility and safer, smarter mobility that makes everyone's life easier, if you want to be part of this great story and amazing adventure, don't hesitate to apply one of our open positions around the world.
Oh, well, Agnes, I'm sure you've inspired many, and thank you both for joining us today, and to you as well, Jeffrey. It really is such an inspiring challenge that's facing Valeo, but the industry as well, to create the mobility of tomorrow. Thank you both.
Thank you.
I find that this great ambition for the mobility of tomorrow is actually most visible in Valeo's brand new, never-before-seen corporate film, which we now have the pleasure to premiere. Let's have a look, shall we?
The automotive industry is changing more than ever, but one thing has remained the same. For 100 years, Valeo's onboard innovations have been by your side. We've always drawn our strength from R&D. And today, we need to go faster for the future of our children, for our planet, and for more intelligent mobility. To meet these new challenges, our engineers are thinking bigger while considering even the smallest details. We're radically accelerating electrification, revolutionizing driving assistance, integrating lighting everywhere, reinventing life on board, and we're committed to reducing our carbon footprint. Through their talent and commitment, the women and men of Valeo are building the mobility of tomorrow. Infinity is our engine.
Such an inspiring message. Now, to wrap up our event, kicking off Valeo's 100th anniversary, we're back with Christophe Peria. Hello again, Christophe.
Hi, Amy.
Now, I wonder, can you share with us, what were your ambitions with this film? What would you like to convey? What did the film represent?
Well, Amy, in our rapidly and profoundly changing world, mobility is undergoing its greatest revolution. So we wanted to illustrate this new paradigm as well as our vision for mobility. Mobility through automotive and mobility beyond automotive. Especially in this year of the group's 100 years anniversary, we were keen to make ourselves stand out with something different, something original, something that reflects our values and the uniqueness of our brand. We wanted to illustrate our technological leadership as well and our purpose to make mobility cleaner, safer, and smarter for the greatest number of people while preserving our planet. We wanted to present a message that anchors us in the future and represents what we are developing today. So this explains the poetic and dreamlike approach, and hopefully this will inspire and touch people as it has us.
Thank you so much, Christophe. And it is with this very poetic vision of the future of mobility that this programme dedicated to Valeo's 100th anniversary ends. Thank you to Agnes, Christophe, Jeffrey and Vincent for joining us. Valeo is 100 years old this year. It is a monument of automotive history that we have just celebrated together. And seeing the group's unique position today at the heart of transformations in mobility and where it aims to go, there is no doubt that the next 100 years will be just as rich and exciting as the past century. Thanks again to all of you for following us.